Hi, this is Ryan Covington with Covington's Nursery. So, I'll be very honest with you, I know very little about growing potatoes. If it were up to me, I'd say we need a whole lot of windowsills and a whole lot of 5th grade classrooms, but today we are going to learn how to plant them in the ground. So come on, let's grow together. Hey, I'm up here at Covington's Nursery with our resident plant expert, Burton. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Well, today we're talking about planting potatoes, and I've mentioned before, I do not have a vegetable garden. I know a bit about ornamental landscaping, but not about growing plants that the end game is to eat them. So, let's just start from the top. When do we start planting potatoes in North Texas?
For us, it's one of the first things we're putting in ground. We plant them toward the late winter around here.
Late winter for potatoes. Okay, Burton, so don't laugh at me, but every winter when we get these bags of potatoes in at Covington's, my first thought is always, well, can people not just buy the potatoes at the grocery store and plant those? What's wrong with that?
Seed potato from a nursery are simply better. They start out disease-free, certified, and that matters a lot. Also, your grocery store potatoes are treated with a non-toxic agent to make them not sprout as much on the shelf, which would definitely slow down your growth and give you stunted potatoes in ground.
Because they don't want the potatoes to start sprouting on the shelf.
Sprouting on the shelf.
That makes total sense. So, Burton, my mom did have a vegetable garden when I was growing up, and I just don't remember her shoving the potatoes directly in the ground. It was like she did there was some prep work. Tell me about that.
Yes, there was. Now, small seed potatoes can be used as is, but larger seed potatoes, that'd be a waste because you can get a number of potatoes off each plant.
Okay.
Usually what you'll do is you'll take a seed potato like this, and you'll cut it into pieces largely the size of a golf ball or a little bit bigger.
Okay.
Each which that has a number of eyes on it. That's actually very important.
So like a really large potato, I might cut 3 times.
You may. But you see, just like this, each of these pieces is just a little bit bigger than a golf ball, and each of them have a number of places where eyes are on the potatoes. Take it just like this.
Okay, so Burton, are these ready to plant?
Not yet. First,
Still no.
You really do need to put these on the windowsill inside your kitchen on a paper towel.
I knew there was a window.
It's a nice sunny place, it's nice and dry. You need to give this about a week to dry up. It'll get kind of gray looking. It's important to let this dry up first before you put it in ground, because if you put it in ground like this where it's wet, it'll just rot.
Okay, that is really good to know. Okay, so I see we're back at our test bed.
We are.
I have the potatoes that have been cut and dried, kept in the window for about a week, then we've dusted them with sulfur. Now are we ready to plant?
Now we are.
Okay.
It's time to get a trench going right here.
You said a trench?
Yes, we're going to want a trench about 8 inches deep right here.
You're just digging it with your hands?
Well, this soil is a little softer than most.
Okay.
You want to dig it down quite deeply because you want to have these set down at the very bottom of this trench.
Okay.
And what we're going to do is we're going to put these in with eyes facing up.
You said the eyes are facing up. And about how far apart are you planting these, Burton?
These are about 1 foot apart right here.
Okay.
And then we're going to get some of this nice slow-release organic fertilizer.
Happy frog, tomato and vegetable.
And we're going to be pretty generous with this because you really can't burn with this. You'd have to put this on tremendously heavier than you're supposed to hurt anything. So I'm going to give it a good generous dusting.
Okay, good.
Then we're going to fill the soil over. Now as these potatoes grow, when they get about this tall, we're going to start slowly adding more soil over the stems of them as they get older.
Okay, but how often would I need to do that with the soil?
Give them a check every couple of weeks because you want to make sure that you have about 12 to 16 inches of potato stems sticking out of the ground, and keep mounting that soil over because they'll continue to put out roots out of the stem to make the potatoes that you're eating. Every potato tuber you eat will be somewhere above that first one you put in.
So you're essentially continuing to raise the level of the ground to support the potatoes?
You are. You're hilling up your row.
Good to know. Okay, Burton, so we've gotten our potatoes planted. I know that I need to check them every couple weeks to see if they need more of that soil mounded up like you talked about. What else do I need to know? Like how often do I water them?
They'll need to be watered about twice a week. Whether that's a good hard rainfall or you doing it by hand, either way is fine.
Okay, and then how do I know when to harvest them?
After you've mounded soil up over the new stem for the first time, anytime after that, you should be able to start harvesting a few fingerlings. Don't get too aggressive too early. As the plant gets older and you've mounded up several times over it, it becomes into bloom. We get toward the end of May, early June, we start to get toward the heat. You should be able to harvest at any point after that.
Okay, when you're saying harvest, are you talking about like, there's a lot of potatoes here, like under the ground?
Yes. And
how many are we talking, Burton?
Well, every one of those potatoes right there can easily increase its weight by 40 or 50 times, if not more.
Oh my goodness.
So every time you plant 3 or 4 potatoes like this, you're talking 100 potatoes or more.
Oh, wow, okay. Well, hopefully now we all know how to plant potatoes. I do want to say before we leave you that around the same time of year, mid-January to late February, it's also time to plant your onions. And we have an entire other video for you explaining how to do that. So pull up that one and let's grow together.
Yep.